Hmm. It's one
Yeah.
thing I'm noticing with my ratings here. The I'm not way off, so I give yeah, First Contact 9, Generation 7, The Final Frontier I gave a 5. Star Trek 5, that's appropriate. Um, the motion picture I gave 6. Undiscovered Country I give an 8. Wrath of Khan 8. And The Voyage Home I give a 9. But that might have been like an emotional 9, like like the more like oh, this was so fun, as a younger person. But I wonder if I would like dip that to an 8 and bump a 9 to like Undiscovered Country.
I'm not ashamed to say that I I I bumped Undiscovered Country, which is number 6. I bumped that up from 3 up to 2 just because basically of two things. Number one, because I mean, you've got it's pretty hard to to beat Christopher Plummer. He's just Christopher Plummer as a Klingon. He's
Yeah,
awesome. But
memorable.
but other than that, I think I think I get really what's the term to use? Uh, I don't know. I get frustrated, I guess, with Star Trek because of how, to me, some of my favorite science fiction stuff is not, I guess, not really what Gil would consider science fiction. It's not deep science fiction. I like stories that are more grounded, that take place in a futuristic or space or sci-fi or even fantasy setting, something not Earth-like, but where everything can be pretty grounded in reality, And then you look at like the Star Trek films. The first one has got some weird thing with the Voyager thing. It's like a godlike thing that shows up. Number 2 is very grounded. The most bizarre thing in there is the Genesis stuff. But I mean, that's treated as a scientific discovery rather than anything else, Number 3, you've got a character coming back to life from the dead. But other than that, pretty much pretty grounded. Number 4 is a great story, but it's got time travel in it and really kooky time travel at that.
Yeah.
Number 5 is like this bizarre, uh like thing about finding God in this being and stuff like that. And Generations is pretty good, but it's got that weird Nexus thing that they have to explain. And again, I love First Contact, but once again, we're going back to time travel again. And then you got that weird ageless planet thing in Insurrection, which is it's still fine. It's not too bad. You got all that weird crap in Nemesis, which is pretty just bad altogether. And then we're back to time travel again, and it goes on and on and on and on like that. Star Trek 6 is the only one where it's like, this is all like what would be on Earth, geopolitical, you know, conflicts going on. And for them, it's, I don't know what the proper term would be, but astropolitical, maybe, I don't know, whatever. But you got the Federation, and you got all these different planets, and they all have their little agenda, and you got this big, you know, treaty being signed, and a coup happening, and an assassination attempt, and a frame up, and a jailbreak, and all this other. It's just an awesome movie that takes place in the Star Trek universe, and that's
Yeah.
what I like about it.
I mean, the thing with Star Trek 6 is that you would have to be a complete dolt in terms of history. I mean, obviously, it came out at a time when most people watching it had experienced the Cold War, and
Yeah,
they
it's true.
know all of the allegories. They know that Rura Penthe is basically
Yeah,
Siberia.
that's probably why they made it
they
cold, right?
they know that the Klingons are the Soviets and that we're the United States. We know they knew all that.
Kronos is their what would you
Uh,
say, probably their oil supply?
Chernobyl,
Oh,
yeah,
Chernobyl. Sorry, Chernobyl. Of course, it's Chernobyl.
yeah,
What am I thinking?
right. Yeah, I mean, we all, and I mean, I'm young enough that I didn't live through it. I'm old enough and educated enough to know what they're talking about. But yeah, I mean, you show that to a bunch of kids nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised they have no freaking idea what they're talking about. But no, no, I mean, I think that's one of the strongest elements of the undiscovered country is, you know, it is ushering in this new era, and it was trying to do that at the time. It was actually exploring what we need to do to mend the wounds.
Like Rocky 4.
Yes, but
That was a joke.
yeah, that's really good, by the way. But yeah, doing it in a slightly more elegant way.
I like that Nick Myers, in both his movies, both Wrath of Khan and that one, more so I think than any other Star Trek that's out there. He really took the whole we're going to do this. We've got this show and a series of movies where most of the story and most of the action takes place on the bridge of a large spacecraft, a large vessel, you know? And it's like, well, if you're going to do space battles, space combat, it should be a submarine movie.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what it is. Like they get to that nebula, they can't see each other.
Oh, the
even
Wrath
before
of Khan. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then same thing with Undiscovered Country. They got the one that can cloak they can't see it. You know, it's like it's so submarine movie. You know, you got all the scenes of the bad guy, and he's looking at his monitors, and you got the good guys, and they're looking at their monitors, and it's all very submarine-like. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting because generally Star Trek was supposed to be about like the marine like life, like of the you know, sort of like master and commander in space.
Yeah,
but yes, there's like, I mean, there's so much content of it that obviously you can go the submarine route for some of the episodes or some of the movies. So
if we had can you imagine if we had a Star Trek movie as good as Master and Commander?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there was potential, I think, with the TNG ones, but I just never, the right director and the right writer were just never involved.
And the right villain.
I mean, I think First Contact probably came the closest. You know,
sure, yeah.
Like as far as like serious, like high level acting and production, and but it was still not. There was no
Master
Peter Weir.
Yeah. Weird. I feel like nothing against First Contact. I think that the villain was perfect for that movie. But I'm just trying to think if, like, you know, if you could have something where you depict the Enterprise at its best, not hamstringed by something, you know, like at its best, with its best crew, you know, and you've got the captain there, you got everyone's at their best, and they're out in space, and like you said, you come up with some great storyline where it's trying to say something about it, and you got this other ship that's equally matched in some way, you know, and it's just them encountering each other over and over, and you have a series of battles like the way that Master and Commander does. I don't know what story that is exactly, but you know, something like that. I could see it working.
Yeah.
But not the Borg, because you know they're kind of faceless in a way.
Maybe someday, you know, someday it's gonna happen. Someone like a Nolan or a Denis will jump on board, and I mean Tarantino almost did it. You know?
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't gonna direct it, even a script by Tarantino would have just like elevated the quality of writing. Like Star Trek deserves like the TV shows, like they just stumbled on some episodes where the writing was just really like good, solid writing, like just like nail biting stuff.
Trouble with Tribbles crossover episode.
That too. But the movies, I feel like it's Wrath of Khan gets close, like that's what I will say. It's like it reminds me of like there was like a meme going around like of Jennifer, what's her face? Jennifer
Connolly?
Jennifer
Oh,
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah, she was on the show Hot Ones, the one where they eat all the
Oh,
the
yeah.
hot spicy.
Great show.
Yeah,
She had a good episode.
I love that podcast.
Yeah.
Well, not podcast, YouTube channel.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
great
watched
show.
a few of them, but in any case, there's a moment there where she says, she's like tearing up from the spicy food, and she said what she liked about Elf is that and then I saw Elf a few weeks after, so it kind of worked out. It's like what she loves about Elf is that that Will Ferrell is in this ridiculous elf suit, and he's running around New York City, behaving like an absolute lunatic, but being 100% committed to this, and just saying this will work. This is gonna work. People will get this. This will not be ridiculous. It will be funny, and the fact that he just commits to it is what makes him a great performer, and what makes the movie work. And I feel like Wrath of Khan is the same way with Ricardo Montalban. Is that, and the same thing. I mean, he's the perfect nemesis to Kirk, because
so perfect.
because Shatner is so in love with himself.
He so is.
And he's just, and Khan is also the same way, so full of himself, so confident. And what happened when two idiots, they're so overly confident people, just go up against each other? There's sparks fly. It's like a bromance almost. And even though the banks and the terrible poofy early 80s spray haircut, as long as you commit fully, it can work. It can work. Even something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On that note.
Oh, Shatner.
Yeah, it is amazing that guy is in his 90s and is not even slowing down. And
I couldn't believe that he outlived Nimoy.
Yeah, and he is not even, he's never looked healthy. He's never looked healthy in his life.
I mean, Shatner has actually made a few comments about how he's feeling like he's recognizing that he's not long for this earth and so long and so forth. But I'm happy that I've met the guy in person, and
I never got a chance to.
I feel like he's a bit like Trump. You feel like there's something about that arrogance, that self-love can sometimes be can be some elixir.
I'm trying to remember who said it. Somebody just recently, I saw this famous person giving advice, and they were talking about losing weight and talking about being healthy and stuff. And they were saying something don't say negative things about yourself, because your body listens, or something like that, and you'll manifest that into reality, or something. If all you're ever doing is talking about the negative things about yourself that you don't like, that's what's going to be the thing that's happening, or something like that. And I was just as you were saying that right now, I was hey, maybe there's power in that. Maybe it's just if you're super narcissistic, then maybe you just prolong your life. I'm finally looking at a picture of Ricardo Montalban. Those are some killer bangs.
Not to mention the white hair and the black eyebrows.
Those eyebrows are something. Oh my gosh, I love weird. Ricardo Montalban.
Anyways, go ahead, Ned.
This is just a quick thing. I met Leonard Nimoy for my first and only time. I think I was 12 years old. And I had a Star Trek action figure of him from the episode Mirror Mirror, the alternate universe Spock with the goatee, beard, right? And everything. Yeah. And I finally walked up to him. I shook his hand. I got it signed. I am 38, going on 39. I still have it
Nice.
with his autograph. It's still it's still probably mint condition. It's probably worth a lot of money.
Maybe.
I don't think I'll ever sell it.
Why are you telling everyone that? No, I'm just kidding.
But-
Start getting offers.
Joke.
It's like make me move.
yeah,
I don't know what
Right.
was like. It
Right,
was like
right,
it's
try
like a
me.
thing. At some point, I it's like a something about. I don't know if it was like renting or something, but there was something I saw at some point saying like make me move or make me something. Like if you offer me enough money, you'll convince me. Or I don't know. What it was. I don't think it's make me sell it. Everybody has a.
This is so sad.
I mean, yeah, everybody has a price, but I mean, I've lived in 4 different states since that happened. And it's still with me.
So you haven't been destitute. I saw the. I listened to the latest Bill Maher podcast. He was like with Seth MacFarlane.
I watched about
And,
3/4 of that. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so I think at some point, like there's some sort of like memorabilia he's got from, I guess from like he had a cameo in the was it like the West like the 99 Ways to Die in the West or
Oh,
something,
yes,
the
yes.
Western that he did. And he said something like he's gonna cherish it and he's gonna keep it. He's never gonna. It's probably worth a lot of money, but he's not gonna sell it. And it's like even if I lived under the the bridge, I would still not sell. It's like, and then they laugh about it. It's like, well, I'm joking. Of course I will. I'm not. If I was really that poor, I'm sure I would sell it by then. But,
Oh my gosh.